What is going on, everybody? Happy Thursday. I hope you all are doing fantastic on this beautiful Thursday afternoon. I think we're going to start today off with a little video for you guys. Strap yourself in.
You got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up.
Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know?
Alright, I think you guys get the point there. That put a smile on my face. Little lightheartedness here to start the day off. What's this? DOGE Army is coming. Oh no. Alright, let's jump into it here. If you're new to the channel, I did have 32 followers. Now we're back down to 31. Darn it. We're losing them. Anyway, if you're new to the channel, go ahead, jump on over to Twitter. Give me a like, give me a follow. All that jazz. We had Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy report earnings today after the market closed, and needless to say, they killed it. All thanks to Bitcoin. Good stuff. I thought there was something else I wanted to show real quick, but I'm sure it's buried so deep in my Twitter at this point, we'll never dig it up. Anyway, let's just jump into it. Let's see where we're at, see what Bitcoin's doing. Bloop. Alright, where are we? Bitcoin. Where's my chart all messed up? Let's see. You can see, it's been kind of a sideways day. Not a lot of action today, but you know what? After the week we've had, that's really quite alright. Most things have been running like a banshee. Not Bitcoin. Bitcoin's got this nice little camel hump going. Definitely rolling over, coming all the way back down to... In a rollover, we'll come all the way back down to probably the 48 mark. Would be my guess. We'll probably bounce again off of our regression zone here, where we bounced a couple times at this point. It's holding firm. So that's my guess. That's my prediction for where the BTC is going. But that's okay, because the longer the BTC stays sideways, the longer it stays alt season. The more the alts continue to go. Alright, let's take a more of a macro view here, an overall approach to the markets. We are currently still over $2 trillion, currently sitting at 2.1 trillion. Overall markets are down 2.4%, we'll call it 2.5% on the day. Bitcoin dominance continuing to drop, sitting at 46%, ETH at 14.8, gas prices at 53 Gwei. Bitcoin currently sitting at $52,902, down 2.6% on the day. Ethereum down 0.3% on the day. BNB up 4.4% on the day. XRP up 2.9%. Cardano down 1.3%. Boy, do I have a story to tell you guys about Cardano. We'll get into that as we close the show up here. We'll have a little story time. Dogecoin down 0.5 point. CWK in the house, silent partner, the master of the chat. Welcome, buddy. Welcome. Why does CoinMarketCap do this every time I scroll down? It gets all stupid. They really got to fix their coding. Anyway, Polkadot up 0.4% on the day. Uniswap down 1.9% on the day. And Litecoin down 0.6% on the day. That's your top 10. Nothing too crazy. I mean, it's much like it was yesterday. Everything's kind of up and down, depending on where you parked your money at this point. You're either up on the day, you're down on the day. Good news is it's not much if you are down. All right, let's jump into the headlines. See what we're starting with. Jay Powell, he's going to kind of dominate our headlines here. Let's see. Federal Reserve keeps rates near zero, maintains asset purchases, sees inflation as transitory. The Federal Reserve kept monetary policy unchanged and sees inflation as temporary. Let me know what your thoughts are on that. I'm curious. Which is closely watched by the Bitcoin investors. No shit. So yeah, keeping rates low. Says that the U.S. will not race China to develop a CBDC. a central bank digital currency. You know, the state stable coin. The U.S. is biding its time to see whether CBDCs was something that would be a good thing for the people, quote. Yeah. And then he goes on to say that the more important thing to do, it's more important to do it right than it is to do it fast. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that, but it's at a certain point, right? You got to pick up the pace, or you're gonna get left in the dust. No one wants to get left in the dust. U.S. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell said that the U.S. should approach the development of a CBDC carefully. He raised doubts that China's digital yuan model could be applied to other countries like the U.S. I don't see why it couldn't. They're both currencies. What do I know? I'm just a graphics guy. Next up, Fed Powell says market, as exemplified by Dogecoin, is a bit frothy. Yeah. Quote, you are seeing things in the capital markets that are a bit frothy. That's a fact, says Powell. I won't say it has nothing to do with monetary policy. Oh, goodness. Just bury your head in the sand, fella. That's all I got on the J. Powell news. I don't really know what to say or where to go from there other than, just keep your head in the sand. Next up, DOJ ransomware panel to propose aggressive Bitcoin regulations, says a report. A group of government and industry experts reportedly sees regulating Bitcoin as a way of combating ransomware. I'm gonna need somebody to explain to me what in the actual hell Bitcoin has to do with ransomware. Just a graphics guy. What do I know? Department of Justice Task Force assembled last week to solve the problem of ransomware. It's set to deliver its recommendations today. The panel of experts established by the U.S. Department of Justice last week to combat ransomware. They were established last week? Holy crap. To combat ransomware is expected to recommend aggressive tracking of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, according to a report from Reuters, citing anonymous sources. I don't know, guys. Generally, I respect Reuters and their reporting. They're one of the most non-biased news organizations out there. But sometimes I definitely question the depth to which they do the research, right? I think back to the GameStop situation and some of the reporting we saw coming out of Reuters regarding GameStop, and it was laughable, really. I actually talked to a reporter during that entire incident, and the questions that they were asking me, it was just obvious that they literally knew nothing about the stock market, much less cryptocurrencies. So, I mean, it's almost a joke to watch mainstream report on this when they clearly have no idea what they're talking about. COOK, when companies are ransomed for their info, it's paid in crypto. Okay. I mean, sorry, I'm pondering on that for a second. I'm letting it stew for a moment. I guess I'm wondering to myself, how is that any different than, using fiat for crimes and tracking it? But I get it. I'm with you. It frightens me, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Anytime I see the letters DOJ in the same sentence with crypto, I get a little nervous. Moving along. Proposed legislation in Germany could allow $425 billion to flow into crypto, says another report. Under the legislation, wealth managers known as Speziafonds would be able to invest up to 20% in digital assets. Correct me if I'm wrong, you longtime viewers of this channel. Didn't we just have news either yesterday or the day before about Germany cracking down on crypto and how they think it's bad and that it should be illegal and blah, 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 blah. The same crap we always hear. COOK, crypto is unregulated and untraceable in a legal sense. It is unregulated, not untraceable. Our wallets are untraceable, yeah. But the blockchain itself, very much traceable. Just a matter of figuring out whose wallet belongs to who, right? I don't know about you, but I lost my wallet on a boat somewhere. Gone. Lost all my Bitcoin on a boat. Proved that I didn't. We had news the other day that Germany was cracking down on cryptos and that they were gonna really crack down on anyone who was trading cryptos or whatever the hell the story was at this point. It's all kind of a blur. But as you can see by this headline, now they're proposing legislation to bring crypto into the country. The hypocrisy in this space is sometimes so thick you can cut it with a knife. Moving on. U.S. man pleads guilty to SIM swap attacks targeting high-profile crypto accounts. Eric Meigs focused his attacks on those he considered OG or original gangster of crypto social media. Jesus. A Massachusetts man has pleaded guilty to his involvement of a SIM swapping scheme targeting social media personalities he thought possessed large amounts of crypto. Eric admits he and one other co-conspirator focused their attacks on those considered OG of crypto, according to an announcement by the Department of Justice Wednesday. A well-worn tactic known as SIM swapping, a scam involving fooling cell phone carriers into swapping access with SIMs that have been compromised, was used in order to gain access to personal financial crypto accounts. 10 victims from the U.S. fell victim to their scheme who managed to steal more than $530,000 in crypto. You know, I think the moral of this story, we can keep reading, but the moral of this story is if you're using a wallet that does not require 2FA, and even if your wallet requires 2FA and you're using your phone as the source of that second source, then you're leaving yourself exposed for this exact thing. What you need to be using is something like I personally, what is the one that I use? Hang on. Google Authenticator is what I use, and it seems to be the most highly recommended of all the 2FA services. So, just a little food for thought. That is financial advice. If you are custodying your own crypto, make sure you have your 2FA set not to your cell phone, but to Google Authenticator. That will protect you from being SIM swapped and losing your wallets. Next up, U.S. bank BNY Mellon blames no exposure to Bitcoin for fund underperformance. I've got to get some coffee on that note. Read that headline again for yourselves here while I drink my coffee. That's right. U.S. banks' funds underperformed, and they're blaming the fact that they didn't hold Bitcoin for that underperformance. Do we really even need to go into the rest of this story? I think that headline itself is just absolutely fantastic. In a tweet from Macroscope, whoever that is, in a filing today, BNY Mellon said the performance of one of its investment funds was hindered by lack of exposure to Bitcoin. Fund performance was hurt as well by a decision not to own MicroStrategy, whose stock surged when it announced it had invested in Bitcoin. Sure did. I haven't looked at MicroStrategy and seen what they did after hours here once they reported, but I'm sure it had to be good, right? No, there's a pretty chart. We all know that chart. Strange how MicroStrategy chart looks almost identical to Bitcoin's, right? So, yep, that's the U.S. bank getting left in the dust news. I would imagine we're going to start seeing headlines like this from JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley. As our earnings season rolls along here, they're all going to come out and be like, yeah, we didn't do too well this quarter, guys. We're going to go ahead and just blame it on the fact that we didn't invest in Bitcoin 5 years ago when we were telling everyone it was a scam. Moving on. Coinbase now allows U.S. users to buy crypto with PayPal. NASDAQ-listed crypto exchange Coinbase now allows customers to go away ads. Good Lord. Customers in the U.S. to buy cryptocurrencies using PayPal. The development means debit cards and bank accounts linked to PayPal can now be used to buy crypto on Coinbase. That's pretty cool. There is a limit of $25,000. You can only buy $25,000 a day. Coinbase is going to charge you 4% in fees. Of course they are. Fucking Coinbase, I swear. They are literally the vampires of crypto. Suck you dry with their fees. It's incredible. So yeah, there's the Coinbase PayPal news. Next up, Fidelity unveils digital asset analytics tool for institutional investors. Having used the Fidelity platform, I'm laughing because I'm picturing their fancy new crypto analytics tool, and in my mind it looks like something that was released on Windows XP 12 years ago. So it makes me laugh that Fidelity is on the cutting edge for all the boomer markets as far as analytics go for the blockchain. Can't wait to see what their new tool looks like. I bet it's gonna make me laugh. Me personally, I'll use Glassnode. They're probably just gonna plug into that API anyway. Next up, Deutsche Börse back in the news. Hey, you guys remember last week when I had like 10 stories reporting that Deutsche Börse was shitting all over cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin in particular? Guess what? They've invested $10 million in a marketplace for real estate, NFT, art, and more. This is almost getting painful, right? Where I report one story one day, just to have another story the very next day that is complete opposite of what we reported the day before, because these companies are just either lying through their fucking teeth or they're having a come to Jesus moment overnight. I don't know. I really don't know, but it's about to drive me flipping nuts. There's your Deutsche Börse real estate NFT news. I'm sure this is probably interesting. Honestly, at this point, though, I'm so frustrated that they've spent the last couple weeks crapping all over the crypto space just to now come out and say, "Hey guys, we're coming into crypto. We're welcome, right? You guys are gonna be nice to us." Deutsche Börse can go fuck themselves. I'm gonna get demonetized because these headlines are just making me mad and I'm cussing up a storm. I apologize if you're underage and you're watching this show. You do not need to be hearing this kind of language. Next up, 10,000 UK taxis to take crypto payments on the Ethereum network. A partnership between two mobile payment solution providers will use the blockchain to enable taxi crypto payments. That'll be convenient, right? You can just pay your cab right there. Tip them in a little bit of ETH, I guess. Problem with that is, of course, you're going to be paying the gas fees, which is going to cost more than your entire damn round trip in the taxi, right? So I kid. They're getting it under control. Gas prices are obviously coming down. They're still about $50 a transaction, but they are coming down. We are making progress. Hey, fun fact, I minted an NFT today on the BSC on the Binance Smart Chain. Cost me $3.50 to mint that bad boy. Would have cost me $95 on the Ethereum network. Just saying. Yep. 10,000 taxis using the ETH network. Moving on. Goldman Sachs says Bitcoin's energy problem undermines the idea of digital gold. Oh, do tell, Goldman Sachs, do tell. A Goldman Sachs research note says that Bitcoin's inefficiency and competition from better designed cryptos undercut its claim to be digital gold. What do you guys think about that? I think Goldman Sachs is just looking to just buy more Bitcoin, so now they're back in FUD mode. See, this is what I'm talking about. Yesterday we had the story Goldman Sachs starting their new fund or whatever the hell it was at this point. Again, it's all a blur, but they were doing something yesterday that was positive for the crypto space, and now they're out here today pumping out this crap, trying to, I don't know, I guess get cheaper Bitcoin. I don't know. Curious your thoughts. Let you know. CWK says he needs an adult. I know, buddy. I'm sorry. I'm fired up today, man. I'm fired up today. It has everything to do with the Cardano thing. But we'll get into that. Oh, the Cardano cult got me heated today. Got me heated. Moving on. DeFi is now a $100 billion sector. By at least two measures, that is, decentralized finance users probably top 1 million. Yeah. Going back. Excuse me. Alright, screw it. Let's get into story time. So, earlier today, actually started last night, I had inadvertently triggered a Twitter war with all the Cardano cult nut jobs out there. Listen, I hold Cardano. I am a Cardano investor. I need to make that clear. So if you're watching this channel and you're a big Cardano fan and you now want to come beat the crap out of me because I've said some terrible things about Cardano, you might want to go to another channel because it's about to get worse. So, I'm just simply asking the questions. For one, you need to know that Cardano did have an update today where they, or not an update, I shouldn't even call it an update. Charles went on safari. Charles has been in Africa for the past couple weeks doing God knows what. I assume he's hunting lions, who the hell knows. And they had a big announcement come out today or yesterday that Ethiopia has partnered with Cardano, and now Cardano is going to be the blockchain of Ethiopia. To which I said, big deal. Big deal. Where's the smart contracts, Charles? Where's the technology? Your coin literally has the utility of Dogecoin right now. Matter of fact, you could argue Dogecoin has more utility than Cardano because you can buy a fucking Slim Jim with it. So, yeah, I guess my frustration is this. Wouldn't it have been better for the people of Ethiopia if they had a blockchain project that was finished? Wouldn't it be better for them if they had a blockchain that had smart contract capability to it? Wouldn't it be better for the people of Ethiopia if they had any kind of blockchain that had any other sort of utility other than, hey, we can trade this back and forth? Hey, you can stake it. You can get more of it if you stake it. Something tells me that people of Ethiopia really don't give a shit about staking their Cardano. Something tells me that the people of Ethiopia really don't give a shit about Cardano. The only thing the people of Ethiopia really care about is the fact that their government has screwed them over time and time again. And now you had Charles go to Ethiopia, sell them on this pipe dream of Cardano. You had the entire country fall for it. Whew. See what I'm saying? You see where I'm going with this? If you guys understand and feel what the rock is, or smell what the rock is cooking over here, let me know in the chat. I need a little bit of love. It's been a rough day. Those people are fucking mean, guys. And mean. I was just asking the hard questions of, hey, when can we expect an update with your network that you've been promising for, I don't know, 6 months and haven't done shit with and said you've been on Safari the entire time? He's more concerned about going on Safari and hosting his YouTube channel. That seems to be the only thing that Charles Hoskinson gives a crap about. Doesn't care that he's got a sea of people who have poured their life savings into his fucking project. He doesn't care. He's more concerned about going on Safari and getting them YouTube subscribers. Smash those likes. Thank you, C-Dub. Thank you. I appreciate you, buddy. All right. Rant over. Moving on. CME eyes much wider potential customer base with the next week's micro Bitcoin futures launch. That was a hard sentence for me to read. So, I threw this in here. This is true. CME has their micro futures launching next week. And you know how I feel about futures. You know how I feel about options. You know how I feel about leverage in this space, period. It's bad. It's destroying it. I think one thing we need to talk about is that in 2017, at the last peak of the market, the last bull run we had, CME announced that they were going to be launching the futures, Bitcoin futures. The very day that CME launched the futures market is the day that the bull run ended in 2017. What's my point to that? Is I'm a little worried that this new micro future bullshit that they're offering could possibly do the same thing. Because we know exactly what they're going to do. We know why they're doing this. This is all so that they can manipulate the market. That's the only thing futures are good for, is for people with a shitload of money to be able to come in and manipulate a market the way that they want. That is the entire point to options and futures, right? So, I am legitimately worried that CME is going to do it again. Legitimately worried that when they launch these micro futures next week, that's going to be the thing that just is the death knell for Bitcoin, right? At least for this bull run, it is my real fear. That's why I threw this headline in there. I don't want to be out here peddling fear or anything like that. I just want you all to be aware that this is what killed the bull run 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and you might want to be prepared for the same kind of shenanigans, because that's CME, that's the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. These are old money, guys. This is old stock boomer market money that's coming into our space, and these guys are masters of manipulation. Masters. It's got me worried. Moving on. Bitcoin transfers from miners to exchanges hits a 6.5-month low. This little chart here provided by Glassnode, one of our favorites. Accumulation by miners is Starting over. The accumulation by miners is analogous to increased promoter holding of corporate stock and considered a positive. Wow, look at that. Look at the divergence. So your little gray line here, this is the price of Bitcoin. And then your bright yellow line, this is actually the transfers off of exchanges from miners to exchanges. That's interesting. So think about it. If you're a miner and you're mining your Bitcoin and you want to sell your Bitcoin once you mined it, what do you got to do? You got to move it to an exchange and then you got to sell it. But if you're a miner and you're wanting to hold your Bitcoin, you're not going to send it to an exchange. And that's what this graph is showing us, or what this chart's showing us. That look, we are at all-time lows as far as miners transferring Bitcoin to exchanges. So that's encouraging. It definitely would appear that the miners are bullish again, and the miners are holding, and that's good for the market. Moving on. There is now over $4 million worth of ETH locked into Ethereum 2.0. Kind of goes to our last story of the amount of money locked into DeFi right now. Users have already staked more than $11 billion worth of Ethereum as part of ETH 2.0's Phase 0 deployment. The total amount of ETH locked up in Ethereum 2.0 deposits contract has exceeded 4 million. This is 8 times more than was required to initially deploy Phase 0. So what's the holdup, Vitalik? Come on, man. What's the holdup? You got 8 times the funding that you needed to pull this off, and we're still pushing back the... Yeah. Wow. Oh, Jesus, that's a lot of money. A lot of people believe, right? A lot of people believe. I'm not convinced, but a lot of people believe. I'm more of a show me the money kind of guy. You show me that this thing's gonna work, then I'll invest in it, right? Till then, I'll be over on the Binance chain if you guys need me. Moving on. Hashflow, DeFi's unautomated market maker, launches with $3.2 million in funding. The project looks to combine the best of DeFi dexes with the efficiencies of working with a professional trading desk. That's interesting. I'm actually kind of excited about this. Hashflow, a hybrid approach to decentralized finance, is launching its private alpha with $3.2 million in funding from Electric Capital, Dragonfly Capital, and Alameda. Ooh, that's a big name to see. The project looks to take on automatic market makers, AMMs, like Uniswap and SushiSwap, with a novel approach that relies on real-world counterparts. The professional market makers paid to make sure various crypto assets have baseline liquidity. This is interesting, right? If you're into DeFi, as much as I am, then this has really perked your interest. Quote, "We're kind of like an unautomated market maker," end quote, Hashflow founder Varun Varudala quipped in an interview. Ethereum AMMs work without the need for such firms, relying on smart contracts to do the work of finding market for any given token pair. Hashflow's approach combines the headless front end with professional trading shops working behind the scenes. With Hashflow, Varuda explained, you have someone who specializes in market making to do the market making. Okay. Thanks. Now they have the choice to accept funds from lazy LPs, and they all get to split the yield based on the equity ownership of the pool. Alameda Research, Galaxy Digital, Genesis, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so just a new kind of DEX. I always love a project that's going to push the envelope and try to do something different, right? That's really what's so special about this space, I think. So keep an eye out for Hashflow and their new unautomated market maker. I'm very curious about this. Very, very curious. This could be very disruptive to the sector, is what I'm trying to say. All right, moving on. Apifini? Words. Gets FINRA broker-dealer license to take aim at Coinbase and Gemini. The new exchange on the block looks to take on the big guys in the digital trading with Apifini Prime. But what will it take to join the club? I mean, you're going to have to get up pretty early in the morning if you want to take on those guys. Apifini, a digital asset marketplace founded in Houanzhou by Houanzhou in 2018, announced on Thursday it has received FINRA broker-dealer license for its trading platform subsidiary, Apifini. They really got to work on their naming. I mean, my goodness, if the thing's going to be successful, people have to be able to pronounce the freaking name. In a press release, the company said its new license puts in a highly select class of crypto-native companies that have FINRA broker-dealer license, including Coinbase, Gemini, Circle, and eToro. If that's the company Apifini Prime is shooting for, its lofty goal, since its brand is still far from household name in the space. Yeah, Yeah, it's cool that they've got themselves a broker-dealer license. Maybe that'll translate to us seeing more of a traditional type exchange that we're used to seeing, as opposed to, some of the odd ones we've got out there now that just seem to kind of be Robinhood ripoffs, right, for the crypto space. Next up, Cardano jumps 8% in 24 hours. But what does on-chain sentiment data show? I can tell you what my on-chain sentiment data shows, and it's not good. It's damn right angry. ADA, the native token of smart contract platform Cardano, jumped 8% in the past day amidst rising public sentiment. It's already down 5%, by the way, guys. Feel the need to point that out. In the past day amidst rising public sentiment for the broader ecosystem. Data from multiple sources showed. ADA up Cardano, for the uninitiated, runs a proof of stake. We know what the hell Cardano does, and it's a whole lot of nothing. Cool. So yeah, your headline news here is Cardano had the biggest news that it's had all year. The damn thing went up 8%, came back down 5%, and is currently basically flat on the day. Cardano, the new stablecoin. Yeah, collect them all. Moving on. Phantom token soars 40% after major network upgrade. Phantom has completed its biggest upgrade to date, pumping its native token. Yep, they've completed their Go Opera upgrade, adding 1 second finality, faster node synchronization, and other improvements. The network's FTM token rose throughout yesterday and has continued its ascent. Phantom is a high-speed proof-of-stake network built for smart contracts. What blockchain isn't high-speed proof-of-stake network built for smart contracts anymore? This was really an argument that I was trying to put out to the damn Cardano people. I know I keep circling back to it. It's because I'm so frustrated. Is that there are literally tens of other blockchains out there that are doing everything that Cardano claims that they're going to be doing, but these blockchains are already doing it, and they're doing it really fucking good. So I guess my point is if you've been holding Cardano over the past 3 months, do yourself a favor, do a little math, and add up how much money, not that you've lost on Cardano, but how much money that you've lost in the overall crypto space because you chose to follow Charles Hoskinson on his stupid Safari mission, and now you've missed out on thousands and thousands and thousands of percents of gains across the board because you had your head buried in the sand and didn't even want to look around you to what was really happening in the space. Instead, you blindly followed your cult leader right off the cliff, is what I think you've done. I could keep going on this for the rest of the night, guys. Someone's going to have to stop me, I think. I'm very angry at these people. Alright, moving on. Here you go. Here, some odd stories, odd NFT stories. That's how I always like to finish our headlines. Kurt Cobain's last photo shoot to be auctioned off as an NFT, but not everyone is pleased about the move. Photographer Jesse Froman will sell an intimate moment with one of the last great rock stars as a non-fungible token. I mean, it's a little dark, a little morbid, but probably something we're going to start seeing a lot of, right? People are going to start taking maybe like the last image shot of John Lennon or something like that, or Bob Marley, and then be able to mint that as an NFT. I think this is kind of something we're going to start seeing a lot of, is this whole kind of commemorative NFT surge where we take, kind of our old icons that have died off or are long since gone and make them immortal in the blockchain, right? Talked about this yesterday, but we didn't touch on the fact that Hasbro plans NFTs for Magic the Gathering. I buried the lead on you again, C-Dub. Buried the lead. It's our kicker. That's right. Hasbro is going to make Magic NFTs. Hasbro and its subsidiary Wizards of the Coast are considering using NFTs for its Magic the Gathering card game. Those efforts would presumably allow the company to tokenize Magic the Gathering cards on the blockchain. Non-fungible tokens have already spawned numerous blockchain-based trading card games. They sure have. There's actually a lot of people that used to work for Wizards of the Coast that have already gone over to like the Wax blockchain, for example, or the Guardians, Chain Guardians, I think is what it is, and have created card games there that are very similar to Magic. So there's no doubt that it'll work, and not only will it work, it's going to be revolutionary for the card game itself, I think. So very excited about that. CWOK says, I'm going to go watch Tucker Carlson. Why? I'm so confused. Why would you do that? For one, why would you subject yourself to that? At least wait till the show's over. Let's get through the charts, then you can go watch your Tucker. All right, let's start with Bitcoin. We already looked at it. You can see we camel humped over. We'll blaze through these guys. I know I've kept you a while and you've listened to my ranting for long enough. Ethereum. Check this out. This is actually important. We need to point this out. Ethereum did break above its trend line, right? We actually got some solid volume when we broke our all-time high here and broke the trend. But that said, we are coming back down. We did bounce off of our first fib line though, which actually ended up being previous all-time high, I think. And we've gotten a pretty solid wick bounce there. So I would not be surprised. He won't hide cool stories. Man, if I don't have us a good kicker, what's gonna keep you around through the rest of my headlines, right? We gotta sandwich them, you know, like a compliment sandwich, I guess, or never mind. You get what I'm trying to say. All right, so you see ETH got itself a good bounce. I would not be surprised one bit if we start to see a movement like this out of ETH, where now that we put in an all-time high, we're just gonna keep kind of grinding up, doing the melt up. Moving on, Binance Coin had a bit of a sideways day today. Pretty much the entire Binance chain was kind of sideways today. But after the previous run that we had, that was actually kind of to be expected. Yesterday we had a crazy run in Cake and Bake both. I didn't discuss Bake yesterday because it was in the middle of pumping. And the last thing I want to have happen is for someone to watch this show and be like, oh God, Bake's going, the Bears got it, so I got a FOMO into it. We don't want that to happen. So if I'm holding a coin that happens to be pumping on that day, I'm probably not even going to address it, right? We're probably just going to blaze right past it and keep going because we don't want people FOMOing in at the very top, worried that they're going to miss out. You got to understand that I've had a position in Bake since it was $1. And currently, I'll just pull it up here. There's Bake. This was yesterday's chart. So yeah, I've had a position going all the way back here to $1, and Bake just went absolutely parabolic yesterday. Ended up closing at over $6, yeah, we ended up making it over $6 last night. Pretty wild to see. And of course, we were about right here in the middle of our show last night when this thing was just ripping. So that's why I didn't bring it up. But yeah, Bake and Cake. Long-time viewers or people that know me will know that I've been pounding the table on Cake and Bake both for the past few months. These are two of the most undervalued projects in the entire crypto space. So, yep, did really well. Let's see, Cake, very similar. Cake, I'll tell you what though, it's so resilient. It follows BNB up, but it doesn't follow BNB down. Every time BNB goes up, Cake goes up. Every time BNB goes down, Cake just holds firm. And you can see it right here, just holding strong. So, all good stuff. VeChain, just any charts you guys want to look at, let me know quickly before we start getting through these. Anything in particular you want to take a gander, let me know. C-Dub, what are you trading right now, bud? How was your day on the stocks? You can see here on VeChain, we've actually come back down into our regression zone. But look at this, we actually only wicked into it 2 times. 2 times on the 4-hour chart, we wicked down into the regression zone and we're bouncing back out of it. Following our trend line quite nicely, actually. So I'm hoping that we'll get a good bounce here on VeChain. Hopefully we get a good bounce and we can break out of the wedge that we've been in now for a couple weeks. So that's the move I'm looking for there. XRP, we actually had some headline news or some news on XRP today. Can't remember if I put it in the rundown or not. I had so much news today, I really had to sift through, find out what the real important stuff was. Check this out. You can see XRP is kind of trying to follow the trends that we drew in on our prediction here. We did have the breakout, and we are still holding. And you can see now we're moving sideways from our breakout. Look at that. So here was our breakout right here. Had a nice little run, and we've been in consolidation mode ever since. And then you look at our moving average, and it's just now meeting up. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a good run out of XRP and XLM for that matter here within, I don't know, probably the next 24 hours, 48 hours. CWOK. Super red on the day, fiat mostly, flat mostly. Nothing big for losses or gains. Yeah, Kind of the same story on the crypto market too, huh? Just kind of a weird sideways choppy day. Some things were up, some things were down. Not a whole lot of movement in either direction. So maybe that's good news for us. Just kind of in consolidation mode here, waiting for the next leg up. XLM, same story. Same as XRP. Broke out, consolidating. Dogecoin. Look at this. The damn Doge still just following the trend, doing its thing. Interested to see what happens this Saturday with Elon Musk hosting SNL, what that's going to do for Doge. Personally, if you're a Doge holder, here's my strategy, because I do hold some Doge. You know me, anytime Elon tweets about Doge, I buy the damn thing and then I sell it the next day. That's my strategy. So what I'm doing, how I'm playing this, because this is obviously a little different than him just tweeting about it. Normally, I would treat this almost like earnings, where I would sell the momentum leading up to the day, right? So we get within 24 hours of an earnings call. That's normally when I would dump, and I would dump my bags on the people who are FOMOing in, trying to catch a run off of the gain or off of the earnings report. I'm going to treat this similar. We'll call this the Doge earnings report, right? But this time, here's what we're going to do. So we know we've got SNL Saturday. We're going to watch the live show. Well, we're going to be paying close attention to Doge that whole time, because we see any sort of spike out of it going into it, we are going to capture that immediately. We're not going to sit there and hold on and wait for it to go to $1. No, if we see any sort of candle come out of, any sort of green candle come out of Doge on Saturday, we're selling right then and there. We're taking our profit. Didn't mean to clap in the microphone, sorry. We're taking our profit, we're moving on. That's how we trade Doge. So, but also with a very, very, very narrow stop loss as well, right? Because right now, position that we have, it's a good position on Doge, I guess, if you could ever call any position on Doge a good one. But we've got a narrow stop loss in place, right? That way, if it does decide to dump, or if somebody decides to front run our strategy, stop loss will trigger, we'll be fine. So that's the strategy with Doge going into Saturday. If you guys have any questions, not financial advice, of course. I'm just a graphics guy. I don't know shit. I don't know what I'm talking about. Don't listen to me. If you're listening to me for financial advice, you're an idiot. Basic attention token. Look at that. We bounced right off of our fib line. Probably going to come all the way back down to the 83-cent mark, it looks like. Which I would be a buyer at anything under $1 with bats, honestly. Anything under $1 is a good deal on bats. Spark point. Just moving sideways. I feel like I'm never getting out of this trade. This is just the trade that's eating my soul. Getting into the stonks. Go over the 5-minute chart for our stonks. Just kind of get a daily read here. Daily feel. We got sideways action on GameStop. Really did fuck all today. Coinbase. Not much either. Still just hemorrhaging. Look at that. Had a decent day a couple days back, and we've just been bleeding out ever since. Really unfortunate. I would think anything below 300 is an absolute steal on Coinbase, but MicroStrategy here. This is one I was really anxious to see. Look at that. So this is MicroStrategy on the day. Not really much to look at. Wow. I would have really thought we would have seen some good movement out of MicroStrategy with that insane earnings report that they just put out. But that's the boomer market for you, man. That's why I never use I never trade around earnings reports, because you get crap like this. MicroStrategy just reported the best quarter they've ever had, and the damn thing, just doesn't even move. Sits there and probably goes down, actually. It probably went down. Speaking of going down, Tesla's still bleeding out. Well, again, I don't understand it. We talked about it in depth yesterday. That no need to go back into it again today, but there's no reason for Tesla to be selling off. These are just stupid price levels. If you're in the boomer market, I'd be scooping up all the Tesla I could get at $670. That's ridiculous. That $1,000 stock all day, guys. All day long. Riot Blockchain also just got murdered today. C-Dub says, waiting on PIN to skyrocket. I've actually got PIN on the end of our chart here. We're getting close to it. Marathon Digital, all the miners just got killed today. They had a great day yesterday, and look, we're right back to where we started 2 days ago. Unbelievable. God, I hate the stock market. I really, really do. The most corrupt institution on the face of the earth. Penn National, look at this. Oh. Well, you can see what it's doing. It's following our downtrend still, and it's just locked right into the damn thing. Man. And you're not gonna like what I'm about to tell you, Ben. You see what I see? There. I'll point it out. Put in a lower low. Not only did we put in a lower low, but we're also making a series of lower highs. No bueno, sir. No bueno. But, you know, like we talked about the other day, if we back out here to the 4 hour, really take more of a macro view here. Let's switch our charts. Why can't I find? Oh. Damn it. Switch our chart here. He needs a diamond turd circle in the drain. He sees a diamond turd circle in the drain. Yeah. Now, here's your 4 hour. I know that doesn't give you much hope either. But, you know, when we were looking at this the other day and we drew our regression zone or our accumulation zone here, you know, we knew we were going to get a good bounce off of it. We knew we were in a downtrend. Boy, you've still got a solid line of resistance pretty much right where you're at right now. So, I mean, this thing can only consolidate for so long, C-Dub. That's about the only glimmer of hope that I can offer you, unfortunately, is it can only do this for so long. And you can see, dude, we are really approaching kind of that moment of no return as far as here's our resistance, here's our floor. Oh, get a brush so you can see. Here's our floor, right? Here's our downtrend. So we are quickly approaching what I'm going to call max consolidation here, right? Where it just has, it can no longer consolidate anymore, and we're going to have to see a movement one way or another, either a breakup or a breakdown, right? Hopefully, we get a breakup or a breakout. That's what we need to see. We need to see a strong breakout. Now, with that said, I can show you something hopeful here, because if we want to measure the breakout, look at this. Look at this. This will melt your face, dude. This will melt your face. So, if you want a semi-accurate representation of where we could go here, check this out. So if you broke out, there's a strong possibility that you could see Penn National scream all the way back up to 140. If you got a good solid breakout here, that would be the price target, right? Back up to those all-time highs. So what do we always say? The longer the base, the higher the chase, right? That's where you're at. And you could theoretically do this as well. You could say, well, there's our base. Let's, oops. No, I've screwed up our chart. Anyway, what you could do is just draw your line out here, and then just as simple as, why does nothing work? All right, fine, nothing's gonna work. We'll just stick with the 140 price target. Yeah, we'll go with that. So yeah, that would be the prediction, right? But of course, the flip side of that too is going to be the breakdown, which, you know, you'd be looking at going all the way back down to 40 on a breakdown. Good news is, look at the amount of resistance you'd have at that $40 level. It would definitely hold at the $40 level, is what I'm trying to say. CWK, it's going to happen. I can feel it in the depths of his cockles. Maybe even the subcockle region. Yeah, I hear you, buddy. Alright, man, that is all I got. C-Dubs, is there anything else you want to add to this little party? Any little nugget of wisdom you want to drop on us? Ooh, that coffee's cold. Ugh. Gonna need a warm-up. Let's see. Zoop. Back up to the top. All right, guys. If there's nothing else, if nobody has any questions, nothing anyone wants to look at, nothing like that, remember, if you're new to the channel and you like the content, jump on over, give me a follow, give me a subscribe. Let's get this number up. Make sure you hit the like, hit the subscribe, ping that notification, all that jazz. All right, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me. And until next time, we'll see you later.